तो क्या किया मैंने? Yeah, good evening to one and all present over here. Very warm welcome to one and all. So today we are going to have a session midpoint theorem. Good afternoon and good evening all. So today we are going to have a session based on midpoint theorem. So we're going to see what is midpoint theorem. So what we're going to study today? Learning midpoint theorem and its converse. Practicing questions based on midpoint theorem and its converse. Let us suppose a triangle ABC is there. D is the midpoint of AB. E is the midpoint of AC. E is the midpoint of AC. What is the relationship between DE and BC? Is there is something any relation between DE and BC? We're going to see this. So what is the statement of midpoint theorem? The line segment joining any two joining the midpoints of any two sides of the triangle parallel to the third side and is equals to half of it. Again, the line segment joining the midpoints of any two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and it is equal to half of it. So, for example, ABC is a triangle. D and E are the midpoints. D and E are the midpoints of side AB and side AC. So, the line segment joining the midpoints. This is the line segment DE joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. It is parallel to the third side. DE is parallel to BC. Therefore, DE is parallel to BC and DE is half of BC. This is the statement of midpoint theorem. Are you getting it, each and everyone? Statement of midpoint theorem? Very good. So the line joining the midpoints of the two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and it is half of it. We have to prove this midpoint theorem and this is very, very, very important. The proof. So what is the given data? Is the midpoint. E is the midpoint of AB and AC. What we have to prove? To prove DE is parallel to BC and DE is half of BC. Now, if D is the midpoint of AB, AD will be equal to DB and AE is equal to EC. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now, we have to construct. This is the most important part to prove. Draw CF parallel to AB such that DE will produce till F. CF drawn parallel to AB. This is the CF we have drawn parallel to AB and extend DE till point F. Now, this is our required figure after construction. What we have to prove? Stage number one, part number one. To prove AED is congruent to triangle CEF, then what we have to prove? BDFC is a parallelogram. We have to prove BDFC as a parallelogram. Okay. Now we are going to start the proof. In triangle AED and triangle CEF, in triangle AED and triangle CEF, angle AED is equals to CEF vertically opposite angle. Yes or no? Vertical opposite angle. Angle DAE is equal to FCE alternate interior angle because AB is parallel to CF by construction we have drawn and AE is equal to EC. It is already given. E is the midpoint of AC. So by which criteria the two triangles are congruent? By angle side angle criteria, the two triangles are congruent by angle side angle criteria. Clear? Now, if triangles are congruent, I can say that AD is equals to CF by CPCT. AD is equals to BD because D is the midpoint. So ultimately I can say that BD is equals to CF. Now, we know that AB is parallel to CF. Therefore, ultimately BD will be parallel to CF because the side AB is parallel to CF. We know that already. So BDFC is a parallelogram. Clear? BDFC is a parallelogram because BD is equal to CF and BD is parallel to CF. If one pair of side is equal as well as parallel, therefore it is a parallelogram. Now, BDFC is a parallelogram. I can say that DF is parallel to BC and DF is equal to BC because we have proved BDFC is a parallelogram. So, we know that ADE and triangle CEF are congruent. DE is equal to EF. I can say that by CPCT, DE is equals to EF. So, E, I can write, how I can write? See here, DF is equals to twice of DE. I can write, yes or no? DF is nothing but BC. Both sides are equal. E is equals to twice of DE. So DE will be half of BC. Yes or no? So we have proved DE is parallel to BC and DE is half of BC. Clear? So we have proved the midpoint theorem. We have proved the midpoint theorem. Now we're going to do the practice afterwards. Okay, don't worry. I will give you the time. Now we're going to start converse of midpoint theorem. What is the converse of midpoint theorem? The line joining through the midpoint of one side of a triangle parallel to another side bisect the third side. See clearly. Triangle ABC is given. Only D is the midpoint of AD. AB. D is the midpoint of AB. What is given over here? D is the midpoint of AB. इसके पहले वाले में क्या दिया था? D and E are the midpoints, but in the converse, only D is the midpoint of AD of AB is given. ठीक है? D is the midpoint of AB is given in this. And what is given another thing? DE is parallel to BC. So line joining the line joining the midpoint parallel to another side bisect the third side. What we have to prove? We have to prove AE is equal to EC. Are you getting the difference between the two theorems? पहली वाली थ्योरम में क्या गिवन था? D और E दोनों मिड पॉइंट्स थे. What we have to prove? DE is parallel to BC and DE is half of BC. लेकिन in converse, D is the midpoint, लाइन पैरेलल दी है एंड वी हैव टू प्रूव E is the midpoint. क्लियर? हमको E midpoint प्रूव करना है. चलो, what is the given data? D is the midpoint and DE is parallel to BC. We have to prove what we have to prove? DE bisects AC. DE bisects AC. If D is the midpoint, AD is parallel to DB and construction same way hai as we have done in the midpoint theorem. Draw CF parallel to AB, extend DE till point F. Again same procedure है, बस congruency वही, we have to prove the same thing. देखो, what we have to prove? We have to prove E is the midpoint of AC. We have to prove E is the midpoint of AC. How we will going to prove this? E is the midpoint. For example, AD is equals to CF. Okay, अपन दूसरे तरीके से करते हैं. देखो, we are taking this two triangle. This angle is equal to this angle, alternate interior angle. Yes or no? This angle is equal to this angle, vertically opposite angle. And I can say that I have drawn a side DE is equals to EF by construction. I have drawn DE is equals to EF. So by which criteria the two triangles are congruent? By angle criteria, angle side criteria. The two triangles are congruent. If by angle side criteria the two triangles are congruent, I can say that AE is equals to EC by CPCT. Yes or no? ठीक है. कैसे? देखो, this angle is equal to this angle, alternate interior angle. This angle is equal to this angle, vertically opposite angle. DE is equals to EF. अभी कैसे इक्वल हुआ? By construction. By construction we have made both the sides equal. ठीक है. और दूसरा तरीका, या तो ये वाला तरीका या तो फिर ये वाला तरीका. ठीक है, लेकिन हमारा तरीका बेस्ट है कंस्ट्रक्शन. सो व्हाट वी हैव प्रूव्ड, AE इज इक्वल्स टू EC बाय CPCT. हमने ये प्रूव कर दिया. Ab, what is the midpoint theorem and what is the converse of midpoint theorem? A quick recap. D and E are the midpoints given. We have to prove DE is parallel to BC and DE is half of BC. Converse of midpoint theorem. D is the midpoint of AB given and DE is parallel to BC given. हमको क्या proof करना है? E is the midpoint of AC. Clear? This we have to. Yeah. We're going to do the practice session after this. Wait a minute. I will give you the time. Summary. A quick summary. What we have studied. D is the midpoint of AB and E is the midpoint of AC. So by midpoint theorem, we have proved DA is parallel to BC and DA is half of BC. And in converse, D is the midpoint of AB and DA is parallel to BC given. So E is the midpoint of AC, that is AE is equal to EC. Yeah. Okay.